Hello, it's good to be back again, and this evening we have a new topic. It's about children. Many of us are part of a family and we have children, and children, like somebody said, is actually loaned to us, I believe, by God. We are stewards of our children, but we don't own them. And they're given to us for a period. As long as they live as part of our family, those are the times that we invest in their lives and we stand with them, help them to discover themselves, and teach them to fly. Many times, parents feel that they own their children. And when ownership comes, then there's a kind of possessiveness that can literally curb them and hamper their growth and keep them from flowering and maturing and becoming or coming into their own. We are called to be like coaches. We just stand on the sidelines and we coach them and teach them how to live life. Yet, even if they in some ways are a part of our family and they are a part of us, they still belong to themselves. And many times, we have many unhappy parents and very unhappy children because parents want to own their children, they want to decide for their children, they want to have total control over the lives of their children. And when that doesn't happen, and when their children want to make their own decisions and they want to fly, parents don't like it. Many parents say, yes, we want our kids to fly, but they want to keep them on a leash or an invisible thread so they can tug and bring them back into their little world or into that plan that they have for their lives. We always need to understand that childhood is short, and if you add up childhood and their teenage years, before children step out into the world to make their own lives, maybe join universities and later on take jobs, move out of our home into different cities, different countries, that time is very short. And that's the time that you as a parent is given to invest in the lives of your children. We need to be good coaches. We need to be loving parents where our children can be sure of our unconditional love. Not loving them if they are great in their studies and they are good with their extracurricular activities, or they are standing doing well maybe at sports, or whether it's other things, and then they say, okay, my son is or my daughter is good at this, and then you say, okay, fine. He has your affirmation and your approval. I believe that every child is special every child is unique, and there's no mold where we can put our kids into. And think that, okay, because they're scoring well in class, or because they're doing this, or they can excel in sports, or maybe at other things, that they are talented and that they are gifted. Even if they may not fit into the regular mold, your children are still unique and they are gifted. And they still have their own strengths. And as parents, we are called to help them discover their strengths, help them to grow in those things. And we are also there to help them in the weak areas. Because I always believe that knowledge is strength. And when we know that there are certain areas of our life that, in our own lives or the life of our children, that we may not be all that good, we are just average at, it's okay. It's okay, because your daughter or your son doesn't have to be like someone else's daughter or son who lives next door. There's no need to keep up with the Joneses. Let your children be themselves, let them discover themselves. And everyone has a pathway. The only thing that we need to do for our children is teach them to be diligent, teach them to give life their best, and give everything that they do their best shot. Because then our kids can live without regrets. There are many times that I have seen in my own life that I may not have come out on top, but still I know that I gave it my best shot. And that's good enough for me. And I think we need to teach that to our children, that, okay, fine, if you gave it your best shot, that's good enough for me. And children really blossom in an atmosphere where there is unconditional love, acceptance, and where there is respect, and where there is no harsh criticism and unreal expectations of them. And when you let them be themselves. We need to remember that we don't own our kids. They own their lives. So let us empower them to be who they were created to be. Unique, different, and enable them to discover themselves. I think that is the best parenting that we can ever actually give our children. Teach them to fly and be ready to let them fly out of our nest and to find their own place in this big, beautiful world of ours.